Just because we're in a bit of a dead zone right now with the NFL does not mean that we don't have some juicy gossip and rumors to talk about with some high-profile names. What's going on, football fans? My name is Moose. Welcome to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. And on today's episode, it's exactly what we're doing. Diving right into the juiciest rumors that have hit the NFL media lately. The first one being, start off with a banger. Tom Brady out of retirement? Relax. It's not exactly what you think. This was more about flag football and the Olympic team. Now, I will say this. The thought of Tom Brady coming out of retirement for yet another time actually kind of piqued my interest. When I started reading this article, I'm like, no way. But unfortunately, they are just talking about the 2028 Olympics, where the NFL kind of allowed its players to go and play flag football in the Olympics. And can you imagine what that's going to be like for other countries? We're going to win like 78-0. But there is some legit credibility behind Tom Brady wanting to play in the Olympics. I'm not drawing this out of my ass. Like, this is a real story, and an NFL insider who's actually close to Brady, chose to remain anonymous, which I absolutely hate, had this to say. He wants a gold medal, and what better way to remain the GOAT and return to the sport he loves by helping his country win gold. He knows he would be able to help and excel in that environment, and since his life is very much scheduled and has a tight regimen, so many things could fall into place for him around that same time. All right, it should be noted also that Brady would be 50 years old in 2028. Like, let that sink in for a second. The dude's 47, played 22 years in the NFL, and quite literally is the GOAT. Like, he's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And I know there's Mahomes fanboys out there that are like, oh, he just had the best career. Mahomes is a better talent, and he's already won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, the numbers, until Mahomes can reach these kind of numbers, I don't think it's close yet. Now, Mahomes is well on his way to into the conversation of being the GOAT, but Brady holds that title right now. I mean, for a guy who was a 6th-round draft pick, these numbers just, like, they're insane. You could not have written a better story for yourself in any career than what Tom Brady carved out for himself in the NFL. Excuse me. Now I realize this is going to be a controversial list, and I'm well aware that I'm going to get some negative comments in the comment section. This is my top 5 QBs of all time. Now, again, I chose the teams that they carved out the best part of their careers with. So Brady comes in with New England, Mahomes, Montana with the 49ers. And believe it or not, not all 4, or all 5. 4 out of the 5 of these guys ended up playing for different teams. Mahomes is still the only one that has not. Yet, at least. So we're not entirely sure. So let's go back to the Olympics and Brady coming out of retirement. There's no shot in hell that he gets picked. Can we all agree on that? There are so many players that are in the prime of their NFL career. Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, any one of these players could be selected as the QB of the United States Olympic flag football team. It will not be 50-year-old Tom Brady. But I still feel like I should ask you the question just for shits and giggles. Will Brady make the Olympic flag football team? Yes or no? I'm saying no and hell no. There's a better chance that Brady broadcasts the Olympic Games than him actually making the team as the starting quarterback. Now, maybe if you wanted to be an honorary captain or honorary captain coach, that could be another spot for him as well. All right, let's dive into something a little bit more relevant to the NFL today, and that is the Browns quarterback drama unfolding. Because I thought just when the Browns couldn't be more insane, this comes out from Mary Kay Cabot, who happens to be a Browns beat reporter. She was asked about who is most likely going to be getting the starting reps during training camp and then eventually leading into the QB1 spot at the beginning of the season. She names Kenny Pickett as the guy who is most likely going to be getting those initial first-team reps and has the best chance to win the job. And this Browns quarterback room, this Browns team, it's just chaotic. It feels like they're just making this stuff up as they go along. They didn't really have a plan. You cannot convince me that after you traded for Kenny Pickett and then went out and re-signed 40-something-year-old Joe Flacco and then drafted Dillon Gabriel, and then in the 5th round, Shedeur falls in your lap, and you're like, we're going to take him too. Oh, by the way, you still have Deshaun Watson on. You can't convince me that all of this was elaborately schemed by Jimmy Haslam. Bullshit. They're just making this stuff up as they go. Now, the good news is that the Deshaun Watson contract is going to be ending within the next couple of years. So you can finally move on and get back to kind of a base plan for your team going forward. But there is one name that I want to highlight on this list, and that's Shedeur Sanders. And the reason I say Shedeur is because I believe, this is just my opinion, Shedeur will end up taking the starting job. He's the most talented in that quarterback draft, or in that quarterback room, excuse me. And even Shedeur, I would say, was not a very highly touted prospect, but he's the guy that you can mold to have the best career. Flacco's on the way out. Kenny Pickett, small hands Pickett, otherwise known as the Morgan Wallen lookalike, he's on his 3rd team. Dillon Gabriel, I don't believe, has the talent to play the position. So Shedeur seems like the only likely candidate, to me at least, to take over that starting job. Now, I don't think he wins it day one. I think there has been a message sent that they want Shedeur to humble himself a little bit before taking over as the QB1 for the Browns. But I do believe it will happen. So let me ask you this, to pick a quarterback for the Browns. Step in, take out your red pen, dial it up. Joe Flacco, type JF. Kenny Pickett, KP. If you think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the quarterback of the future, like the video. Or if you think it's Dillon Gabriel, hit subscribe. Either way, do something and pick a Browns quarterback. Now, like I said before, I think Flacco wins it, but I think Shedeur takes over. So I think week 1, they're going to put their trust in Joe Flacco. And let's just say, with the gauntlet that the Cleveland Browns have in their, first few games, they go 2-3. Well, then I think you're starting to gear up to put in Shedeur, who eventually takes over around Thanksgiving. That's just my prognostication. Take it for what you will. Now, before I get into the last rumor nugget, or rumor story, I should say, I do have to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. You can cash on the basketball playoffs with Prize Picks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's points, rebounds, assists, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Again, your playoff hot takes start with Prize Picks, and that starts with basketball as well. They'll actually enter you into the It Takes Two ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 to VIP trip, to the championship. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount several projections on the board, usually by 15 to 25%. So here's what you got to do. Go to the App Store, click the download button, and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, last one. And this one I actually like talking about because this is concrete, right? This is something that actually has a tangible value to it. Garrett Wilson and his contract extension. Right now, the Jets don't really have a plan at quarterback. I know they just signed Justin Fields, but the truth is that Justin's now on his 3rd team in however many years, and he's trying to prove that he can be the franchise quarterback. Now, Garrett Wilson was recently asked about his contract talk, and this was probably the best answer that he could have given. He basically just said, I'm hopeful that I'm a Jet for life and that we get this thing rolling, talking about his contract extension, and that our best days are ahead of us. That's exactly what you want to hear. He takes care of himself, wants to be a Jet for life, and basically says, hey, I'm open to talking. I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say. Let's get the show on the road. I found this out from our Jets host here, Mr. Patrick Seatman, who actually gave me a very good contract projection that he found for Garrett Wilson. And it would be a 4-year, $125 million extension, which comes out to $31.25 million per year with $100 million guaranteed. Now, based off of his on-field production, he absolutely deserves this. I mean, every single year, he's posting up numbers. He could find the end zone a little bit more I would like him to find it, maybe get up there to 9, 10 times a season. But, I'm splitting hairs at this point. The dude's an unbelievable player, considering all of the, shit show and all of the rotation of quarterbacks that have gone through the New York Jets' cycle here. Now, when it comes to the money, where would he fall in terms of the highest paid wide receivers per year? He would actually fall at number 6. Be just below A.J. Brown and right above Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I view this is probably a really good spot for him. Is it a little high considering I don't think he is the number 6 wide receiver in the NFL? Sure, but he's definitely top 10. And if you're a top 10 wide receiver, you could end up getting top 6 money. And that's just, it's the way it falls. So I would pay Garrett Wilson while you're not paying a quarterback. You're paying Justin Fields 2 years. What is it, $40 million? So $20 million per year. It's nothing. It's zero. Pennies on the dollar considering the going rate for quarterbacks and what Brock Purdy just got. So my guess is the Jets end up drafting a quarterback this next year. So you would think that they have to get a deal done with Garrett Wilson so that going into year 1, their next quarterback establishes a relationship with his number 1 wide receiver. And speaking of wide receivers, who's the best in the NFL? Let me know in the comment section down below. My answer, Jettas. Jettas or Jamar Chase. It's one of those two. It's very, very close. I think if Jettas had a quarterback like Joe Burrow, you would see the numbers just, I don't even want to think of what those numbers would look like. It would be scary. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's episode of NFL Daily. Remember to subscribe, like the video, share this with an NFL friend in your life. My name is Moose. Until next time, be cool.